morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Welcome to our Chakra Insight. We're on number 31 this week.
Moving right along.
Yeah, moving right along.
Yep.
So we've been doing this for 31 weeks, and we wanted to let you know where our path will lead us next. We actually have 8 cards left that we have not chosen, so 8 more aspects of the chakra system that we're going to go through in the way that we've been doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to switch to a new format, a new exciting format that we think you all will love, and we will reveal that later. So we have 8 more weeks of picking one aspect a week and going over that.
Sounds good.
Good morning, Chuck.
Hi, Chuck.
So we'll talk about what happened last week with our emotional balance. And as usually happens for me, whenever we get a insight or whenever I start working on an aspect, the universe provides me with a lot of material to work with.
Oh, yes.
So this week especially, I was given a lot of opportunities to work with emotional balance and to experience the complexity of it.
Mm.
So the main thing that was helpful for me when situations come up that I felt emotionally charged about was to create space for myself, because I'm not going to say always, but probably most of the time, if I had reacted out of whatever the emotion was at that moment, I would have regretted it later.
Mm-hmm.
Because when we're emotionally charged, it's like we're just taken over by the emotion, and we
Right.
see through the lens of the emotion, and we're not able to take in the bigger picture.
Mm-hmm.
So giving ourselves space, creating boundaries, giving ourselves the space that we need to process the emotions is a key component,
Mm-hmm.
because we just can't think clearly, we can't act from our higher selves
Right.
when we're taken over or triggered by something.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So that's the first thing that I noticed for myself. The next part is that I would tune in to the physical feeling of the emotion, because our emotions create physical feelings in our body. And I noticed when I took my awareness away from the story that was playing out, the right or wrong or whatever it was, and focused on the feeling, the physical feeling, that it began to create some separation between me and that emotion.
Mm-hmm.
And just like our meditation creates space between ourselves and our thoughts, it helped lessen the charge of that emotion.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt it mostly. I felt a lot in my heart.
Really?
Yeah. That was the main place, because it's such a sensitive place.
Mm-hmm.
Also the throat and the solar plexus were key places where I felt it. So it's just interesting, not judging it right or wrong, like where am I supposed to feel it, but just like noticing that is very, very helpful. I can't tell you enough, but try it.
Yes.
Next time. Yes.
Well, that is so. What I've experienced over the last few years of doing this kind of work is that oftentimes our initial emotion that comes up isn't even maybe based on our actual present moment experience.
Mm-hmm.
Like it seems to bring up maybe a triggered emotion from a past experience that just hasn't been healed yet. So I like that, taking that space kind of reminds you that, okay, what's actually happening in this moment and how do I actually feel right now, instead of looking at it from maybe a lens of trauma from the past. And the trauma could be anything. For myself this week, what I noticed is, so I've had a lot of downtime. My daughter's been out of town. My husband has had to work a lot. So I had a lot of alone time. And for about 4 days, especially during those days where it was raining, I just stayed home, just hung out, read. Yeah, it was really nice. But what's funny is that when I was paying attention to how I felt and how I felt balanced, I wasn't swinging from one extreme to another. The initial reaction is it's a little scary. Like, it's uncomfortable to sit in that feeling of balance, because often, and this was my experience growing up in an atmosphere of high emotions, swinging from one side to the other on the spectrum, you get so used to that, you know, ping-ponging back and forth, that being balanced can feel scary. Like, your mind immediately goes to, when is the other shoe going to drop? What's going to happen that is going to be next? What's the next drama that's going to come up? So what I realized was, like you said, creating space and getting quiet and realizing that this is okay. I'm not bored. You know, I don't need to be scared of this quiet. Just shifting my mindset to one of peacefulness and contentment and balance, rather than waiting for the other shoe to drop or not wanting to be balanced, essentially. Because, you know, I in my experience, for me, and I don't know about others, but if you're used to, you know, and our culture is kind of used to that, oh, there's always drama going on between the news or family dynamics, friend dynamics, there's always some kind of drama. So we're not really used to being in that nice balanced state. Mm-hmm. We're kind of used to ping-ponging back and forth. So when we find ourselves balanced, it can feel a little uncomfortable. Yes. So just finding that breath to just enjoy balance. That can be a little scary. Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the breath is associated with the heart chakra. Mm. So when we want to open our heart chakra, we can do that through the breath. So
nice. It definitely helps.
Definitely does. It brings us present and helps us to just open up to what's really in front of us rather than what our mind is telling us.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
All right.
So we will choose our insight for the week. You choosing?
I think it's your turn.
Oh. Yay. Okay.
We forgot to discuss beforehand.
That's okay. We're going to be spontaneous.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Pick this one.
Ooh.
We got creativity, imagination, expression, originality, and passion. So this is the throat chakra.
Okay. Become an active steward for the creative inspiration that is ready to come through you. So the story in the picture is, soften your gaze as you peer at the sky and a cloud becomes a dragon. Close your eyes in the breeze and soon a dream begins to rise. Open your spirit to the canvas before you and the vision of a painting begins to emerge. Like seeds of a fertile garden, we have come here to bring forth life to create, to open ourselves to the vast creative potential within each moment and to become vessels for divine energy to express in full form creativity. Whether we are conscious of it or not, we are continually contributing to the story of life through the way that we think, feel, speak, and act, and through the creations that we bring into the world. Throughout the ages, great masters have recognized creativity as both a doorway into and an expression of the divine. The Latin word creare means to cause to exist, suggesting that when we open ourselves to the creative energy within, we are quite literally bringing new life into the world. This is one of our greatest gifts and responsibility in life. We are each unique creative beings, whether through painting murals, writing poetry, playing music, dancing tango, baking cookies, growing businesses, or growing a garden. The only limits of what we can create are those that we impose upon ourselves or allow others to impose upon us. It's time to expand your experience of your true creative potential. If you're feeling uninspired or creatively blocked, the best first step is often just to begin. Create a space where you feel open and safe to express. Give yourself time to explore your creativity with no attachment to the outcome. Don't try to control or confine it. No rules or judgment allowed. Just allow yourself to enjoy the process. Let it grow and evolve. It will show you what it wants to be. When we open to the creative essence within, we realize that every task and moment is an opportunity to bring some new energy to life. As we do this consciously in different ways each day, we cultivate the most important and lasting artistic expression of all, ourselves. Open yourself to embody and express your creative potential, no matter what form it takes. Give birth to your ideas. Let them rise into manifest form in the world. Now is the time. Live a little bit of each day in a carefree and creative way. love that.
Yes.
I love how it says to just so let your creation grow and evolve, and it will show you what it wants to be. So we're just the vehicles that it comes through.
Yeah, definitely.
So we open our our throat chakras and let it come through.
Yeah. How do you do that in your day-to-day life?
How do I open myself to creativity?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
That's a good question.
Well, I feel like my throat chakra is cleansing itself right now.
It is.
One way that I do that is through trying to keep my throat chakra open. I like to do my morning pages in the morning, and writing things down on paper kind of clears out that flow, gets rid of the mental junk that's in there, so that I can be more receptive and open to creative ideas as they come in. And okay, so here's the one that I could do more of, is to actually give myself space to allow that creative potential to come through. Because when we're going through our lives, doing all our daily tasks, we're not really creating a lot of space for the creative, for that to come in.
Right.
So giving myself like time to sit and to be like, okay, what do I want to do? That is when I usually get my best creative ideas.
Nice.
Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah, no
Sometimes
problem.
I feel too busy to do that.
Yeah. When it can feel kind of scary, because I feel like in this age of social media, we can feel almost pressured to being creative for what we put out. You know, if say we have an Instagram account and we become more worried about the perception, and then it stifles us, and it kind of puts a pressure on us about is this picture pretty enough? Is this dance or this flow or whatever, my garden, does it look pretty enough or creative enough or whatever, instead of just releasing the judgment and saying, I'm going to enjoy this and it's for me, and if anybody else does, great, and if they don't, great. You know, because I think sometimes we can get caught up in worrying about what other people think of our creativity and not allowing ourselves to enjoy it, and then that's where we feel stifled.
That's when the creativity gets clogged up.
Absolutely.
Is when we start worrying about what other people will think of our creations.
Yeah. Yes. So this will be a good week. We want to make sure that you guys are sharing with us. So we are not the only ones who can post on the Chakra Journey. You are always welcome. If you have any stones or oils that you enjoy for the chakra that we're working on, if you have questions, if you want to share an experience that you have gone through in relation to the chakra that we're working on that week, then do, please. We would love to hear from all of you and in any way about this journey.
And after talking about posting about your creations, so we don't want to, post or create things so that other people will like them. That being said, feel free to post your creations so that you can share them with other people. So you guys, please show us your whatever maybe you might create during this week, because we get inspired by other people too. So when we see other people being creative, it could spark an idea in us. So let's just start being more creative this week in our posts and sharing about what we can create here.
Yes, that sounds great.
Yes, so this is a creative space this week especially.
Yes, sounds
All right.
good. Thank you.
Thanks,
you all
guys.
have a wonderful day.
Yes, namaste.
Namaste.